Hey everybody, we're having technical difficulties here and we're working on it. I think it's the camera. I think somewhere in the camera it has to be flipped. Does that make sense?
There we go.
All right, camera.
Sorry. There we go.
All right.
There we go.
All right. Hey everybody, it's me, Lynn Rene MacDonald. What? You got the same thing? Yeah. We're looking at the lights here, right? You got a great view of the lights, right? Okay, I think this requires some good saging before we start, okay? All right, thank you everybody for coming. Hey everybody, thank you. In 1 second, I'm just going to light some sage here right now. And I'm going to tell you a little bit about what we do, and then we're going to give you a view of the audience. Sorry for the delay getting everything straight here, but I think we're where we need to be for all of us. We're just going to hit it with some sage, because the energy is a little backwards, sideways, and kind of crazy today. All right. Thanks, God, for the best class, the best time together, the best forum, the best gifts, tools, love, energy, magic, everything we need from love and God and universe in the purest form. In this reality, any reality and all that is. Let's sage our phone, our technology. All right, and everything. Thank you, God, for that for us. The best time, the best fun, the best wisdom, the gifts, tools, solutions, love, energy, magic, everything that is God in the purest form, from love in the purest form. Thank you, God, for these gifts for us now, please, and the best time, and that God's honest truth are the answers to everything, and thank you, God, for that for us. Okay, hi, everybody. It's me. I'm pushing the table across the room, but it's Lynn Rene MacDonald. Tonight it is Facebook Live Talk Forum. Thank you, everybody in the audience, for coming. Thank you, everybody here, for coming. We're going to give you a little view. It's early still, but we're going to answer questions. We're going to do what we usually do, talk about things and the God's honest truth about things, the best solutions from love energy, for everything in your life, from things typical and personal in Earth World to everything that's going on in all that is the Earth World collective. Any metaphysical and Earth World questions that you have, you can ask here. You can call in. You can share our videos. You can share with your friends. What everything that you do, what we promote here and teach and do is coming from our hearts, from love. That's what we teach. So this is what this forum is all about, to help people, okay? If you can donate, fantastic. Do it from your heart, and thank you. All right? So are you okay back there, Deb? Okay. Deb's doing good too. All right. So thanks, God, for the best time together here today. I'm just going to give you an idea, since we've been on, this is our third time now. I'm going to give you guys an idea what it looks like in here, so you can see some of our people that are here today and get an idea for the energy of the place. We're coming to you live from the Institute of Christ Consciousness here in Virginia Beach, which is a love, energy, healing, and teaching center for people and pets. And it's in Virginia Beach, Virginia, and the Institute for Christ Consciousness and the Copper Dragon. We lost you guys, but there we go. I think people are trying to call through here. Can you put the shop's number if they want to call in, or tell them to come in through Facebook? As I said, we're new at this, getting over here online and stuff, and with technology. Thanks, God, for it working out in the best way for all of us. So thank you. And the Copper Dragon is a higher vibrational product and gift shop, and these are two of our businesses that are associated together to help people through products, as well as metaphysical products, gifts, tools, love, energy, magic, so to speak. In other words, working with God or love or light in the highest form, okay? So this is what we do and teach, and this is why we're sharing this with the world, because in these times, the world is a fucking hot mess, and we're here together to work together. The more we each individually come from love, the more great things happen, okay? So now that I think I got rid of all the chaos from here, I'm going to just quickly show you guys, everybody here in the forum, just to quick show you what it's like. So hang on, it might get a little crazy. This is where we got to get cameras, but here's my assistants, both Jennifer, I don't know, can you see Jennifer? And you guys let me know. There's some of the people in our audience, right? Today it's early, but we're here, right? And a lot of people call in. This is Rachel. She's also one of my great assistants. So, and this is the whole scene here with everybody, and here I am. So we got you guys all set up. We're just gonna put you back on the camera, and get you going. So I just wanted to share that with you so you guys know that you can come here live anytime and really get in the energy, but you can call in on Facebook or you can tap into us on Facebook. We will also be doing it on my YouTube's live as well to get you the answers, the God's honest truth, the questions. So, and if you have any in the future that you don't get to talk, we're going to try to get to everybody every week. We're going to talk about many different things, and anything you want to share with us, please do. Okay, and we're going to go from here. So I'm going to start out with the people in our audience here, and who would like to go first? Wendy goes, I feel it in her energy, right?
I don't have a question yet.
Okay, all right. So, and also I just want to take a minute here to show you that today we had somebody who came in here live, and they were really lovely. They did this beautiful lion drawing, and I just want to get your name one more time. It's Cheyenne.
Cheyenne.
And your last name? Rockwell, and she donated this to us, which is absolutely beautiful, and I think we're going to put it in the shopper in here for the lovely, beautiful energy that it brings. You're super gifted. I'm excited to see all your work. I really am, and thank you. Okay, and anyway, so she bought this in, and another little piece. I think it might be a card or something, is it?
They're just two smaller ones.
Yeah, two smaller ones. Oh, these are rocking too. You cool with I share these too? I wanted to just share these with you guys too. They're absolutely beautiful, and it's cool. They're lions. Lion is Christ energy. Lion is Leo energy, right? Lion is power energy. Lion is king energy. Lion can be one of your guides at any given time, as well as across the board everywhere in your life, right? So Cheyenne just walked in the door here to join us today. So she donated these beautiful artwork, right, to share with us, which is awesome. Thank you. And she also donated monies as well, and we're super grateful. So anybody who wants to donate, please do. But always, I tell people all the time, this is to come from your heart. If you don't donate and you don't give unless it's authentic in your heart and you feel it, okay? And that's for everybody. We're not pushing and forcing anybody to do anything in these times. That's not how you do things. You do everything that you do is guided by higher knowing, which is the purest form of love, as always, also anytime possible, all the time, okay? All right, so thank you. Anybody out there have any questions? Cheyenne, since you were lovely, would you like to go first?
I don't have a question yet.
Okay, not yet?
I don't, yeah.
Okay, and just let me know. Signal me here, okay? If you got a question. All right. Okay. How about anybody else out there? Mark?
Yeah, I think, I don't know. I think it...
And if you can, speak
like
up.
I feel like my grandpa's been coming in a lot lately.
Okay.
My dad's dad, who was the Marine, I think we've talked about a few times.
Yep.
I think he's been coming in a lot, and he got brought up in conversation today, and I don't know, I was wondering if there's anything that you pick up on him, or if I'm just mistaken. I'm not sure. I just feel like he's been around.
Okay. What is his name, if you're cool with sharing it?
His full name?
Yeah.
Walter Centennial Etheridge, Sr.
Oh my God! Stop it! Right. Mark is like a libertarian patriot. He's like fucking crazy with freedom in the country, right? So it's no accident that his father's name is Walter Centennial Etheridge. It's like I said to him, what is his name? Oh, he's totally around you. He's like, when he shows me in his vision, this is what you call doing medium work. All right. It's when you tap in to an energy. And what I do is I just ask God. Everybody does their gifts differently, right? But what I do is I teach the simplest, easiest, best way to connect with universe and all metaphysical gifts and everything that's the best answers and solutions for you in your life by tapping into love in the highest form, regardless of what your religion is, what you practice. As long as you're in your heart space in alignment with love, anybody can get these answers from universe or connect with people who have crossed over, or crossed over meaning died, passed away, gone into a different dimension. And contrary to popular belief, a lot of people think that souls just, only do this when they die, but you can come out of your soul and, like when you go to sleep at night. And it's not necessarily that you come out of your soul goes within through different dimensions. So it's kind of like you're not there, right? You're in a different space within yourself, but you're entering in a different portal through your soul, through all that is God, to get to different dimensions and different spaces. It's kind of like the traditional earth world name that a lot of people know it as is astral travel, just so you guys know. That's what a lot of people call it, because like a lot of times people will say to me, oh, can you tap into my grandmother or my grandfather who's passed away? And what happens is they think, or I won't know that they passed away, but they'll be like, can you tap into, can you tell me about this person, that person, and this person? And I'll tap into somebody and I'll be like, I'll be like, did they cross over? And they're like, well, no, they didn't. But you can tap into them in any dimension that they're in and whatever they're doing, right? So they can be sleeping and you can still tap into their energy, and their subconscious soul energy, right? Their soul can be around you, all right? It's also within you, okay? All of these dimensions of God that is in us, we're all part of the same universe, right? Or all part of the same or energy that is everything that is God. And we tap in to that within through ourselves and our God connection. It's our God connection to everything, right? Okay, so you can tap into energies whether they're here or not. Like people will go, well, my uncle's not dead. And I'll be like, okay, well, I'm just telling you about what their energy is doing, and they're around you all the time. So it doesn't mean that they have to be dead or crossed over, or anything specific. There's all these beliefs that are not the truth of God about dimensional work, right? Just like you can tap into anybody you want here in Earth world, right? Like I can be like, well, is this guy Jim that I'm seeing, is he cheating on me, God? I just want to know. And then I can get in Jim's space and I may get a vision that Jim is with some other chick at a drive-through eating a hamburger or something, I mean, it's infinite, the gifts that you can do and the magic that you have with God and universe. And so many times, in our old world ways and beliefs, and it doesn't mean that people are wrong. You can only believe the space of God that you're in any given time, or your vibrational space. So in order to have highest knowing of God at any and all times, you must always work with that energy, meaning work with God all the time, universe or love, from everything from simple things in your heart, you know what I mean, to complex things that come in. So again, I'm going to go back to Mark's question, all right, so that everybody gets a better understanding of how this stuff works. Mark's father's name, his middle name is Centennial, which is so funny because you think Centennial is 100, right? And Centennial is like definitely patriotic energy. There's no question about it. You know what I'm talking about, right? So you come from a long line of patriots in your family heritage, right? Like your ancestry in this time. I think your parents both have been patriots. Your mom, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
Right. So your father, is this your father's father?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's who I'm picking up it is, because it feels like your father's father. But what's funny is he's like wild. He's throwing up his hands in the air and he's like fucking wild. And you know why that is, don't you? Because Mark Etheridge is wild. You know him? Yeah, that's you. You're like fucking wild about what's going on, because this is about freedoms. This is about your dreams, your happiness, that of your children, that of your families, being able to do and live your dreams. Makes sense, right? So your grandfather is around because he's like up in arms. Your grandfather is like the original, just like you, patriot energy. Just like this place, we were laughing about how our shopping center is here in Lynehaven area, and my name is Lynn. So it's a haven for Lynn. It's on Lynehaven Road. It's in the Lynehaven area, right? One of the jobs that I have is I work at Lynehaven Self-Storage, right? It's so crazy, right? Because everything is a haven for Lynn. It's no accident. That's how it works. But what's the funniest shit is here we are here in this shopping center here where we've set up our shopping center now. And I look outside, and what do you think the name of it is? Yorktown Commerce Center. Yorktown, right? If that isn't like the beginning of the colonial Williamsburg in history, right? So that tells you, not only am I spiritual, just like you, we're all spiritual, right? And spiritual is in everything, all right? And God is everything, and love is everything, just at different vibrations, right? But this Yorktown tells me that I'm a patriot, that I'm one of the original patriots, because all I got to do is, okay, God, why am I in Yorktown Commerce Center, right? Why am I there? I'm here because all of this energy is what my soul called in for me to understand about me, to understand basically the legacy of freedom that I believe in and dream of and want for everybody. It's not about politics. It's about love. Freedom is love in the purest form. Okay. So it would make sense that I would be about Yorktown Center and an original patriot. And that, how do I know? Because Yorktown is one of the earliest cities, that, or towns or whatever you call it, from the beginning of the history of America, in what was that, the 1700s, as it got established, right? 17.
Well, Yorktown is where the Americans defeated the British. It's where the British surrendered to the Americans in the Revolutionary War.
In the Revolutionary War. See, Mark has all the stuff, but either way, I'm telling you the same thing, but not exactly in these details. And I know that you know the true, more of the true authentic history than I do. Do you see what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. But I don't have to know all those details to know, and all I have to do is ask God, and the answers come from you, right, out here. They come from my heart, and it's because I asked, because I have the power just like you do. Ask and you shall receive, right? So the second I don't know about this, I know Yorktown is one of the original cities. Absolutely, right? It's one of the first ones. And then you filled us in with the rest of the information because I said, okay, God, what's the story here? What's the truth of this? And I know that you are a history buff, which is fucking awesome, right? And so, but you too are an original patriot, or you wouldn't be a fucking history buff, or you wouldn't be about America. You know what I'm saying? Just like anybody who signs up in the military, right? What are they about? They're about America and freedom. That's why they go, to serve their country. There is a huge part of that in the energy. They love America. So all the things that we're going through right now is crazy wild times, but I'm just telling you all of this stuff to tell you the truth of God so you can understand and read energy in your reality with people you know, how things truly work. So your grandfather, which is your father's father, all right, he's an original patriot as well. In fact, you fought with him in the Revolutionary War. Do you know that? You have a really big connection to him energetically. And that's why he comes in. That's why he's all around. He is also around for your dad. Does that make sense? I feel like he helps your dad to function, whether your dad's conscious energy realizes it or not. Has your dad ever had any conversations in his room with him that you're aware of? Like, did you ever walk in there and hear your dad talking to somebody?
Not that I can remember.
Okay. So, see, just, you know, if you can, see, or if your mom has, because if not, this is coming. Because your dad's dad is here to help him. So help him, like, keep it together, so to speak, while he's here to assist him in Earth World, right? As well as what's coming in is in the metaphysical as well for crossing over. Does that make sense? Mm-hmm. Yeah. Do you have any questions about this?
No, I don't think so. That's pretty awesome, though.
Yeah.
The Yorktown Commerce Park, that definitely made a lot of sense. Because when I first came around, I grew up in Yorktown. So it was like when I came here, I was like, oh, look, I'm home. You know, so.
Yeah, and that's awesome. I don't know if any of you guys heard that. Mark just said he grew up in Yorktown here, which is a town in Hampton Roads. Did I get that right? Mm-hmm. All right. Yeah. All right. So technically speaking, it's a town in Hampton Roads, and this is Yorktown Commerce Center. So Mark felt at home here, which would make sense. The Yorktown that he grew up in, and feeling at home here, where it's Yorktown Commerce Center, and with us, right? Yeah, so it's cool shit. All right, so Mark's question was with the audience here. Rachel, what you got? You got a question for me? I'm sure everybody has some kinds of questions.
I do actually have a question.
Oh, you got one personally?
I do. I have a question on mine too if you want.
All right. No, great. We'll get one in a minute. We're going to do our best to get to everybody. Just give me one sec. And again, if we do not get to you, please tune in next week at 7:15 on Sunday nights. We're going to be doing this every Sunday night, and it's going to be a lot of fun as we get more comfortable and really into it, and we get it out there, okay? Thanks, everybody. Okay, go ahead, Rachel.
So Soph and I were talking about, like, portals and closets the other day, and I was wondering if you could talk about that and, like, why they're there, how they form, or, like, what really they are. I feel like there's so many misconceptions.
All right. So when you say misconceptions, can you give me an example? There's definitely a portal in Sophia's closet. Sophia is my daughter. She is super gifted. She has a lot of Cancer energy. Rachel also is an associate of ours who works with ours. She's part of our team. And Rachel is also super gifted. And are you a Cancer rising? Yeah. She's a Cancer rising, so she has a lot of Cancer energy, which then lends itself, if Rachel is open to it and so desires, to manifest this as Cancerian energy, right? And this energy is super gifted metaphysically, dimensionally. Okay, so you are able to see people who have crossed over, people who have passed on, you could say, or energies, spirits, souls, whatever you want to call them, or language you use. Many times we find we're talking about the same things, spirituality, or the same things, but we just use different words and different terms, okay? So Sophia and Rachel are super gifted. They see all these souls and people, which would be like people and energies walking around our house, okay? So they walk around all the time, and they, I can see them too. Some days we see more than others, right? So my daughter Sophia saw like 10 souls coming out of her closet. And the neat thing about our house is it's a magic house. It has all these passageways and things, and that's why God led us to live there, or universe led us to live there, right? But Sophia's gifts are really opening up, and all of our gifts are really opening up in these times, because it's time, right? It's time to move out of earth world belief systems into a higher vibration of love, right? For all of us, which means then, like in the earth world, they say, well, the veil is thinning. Well, yeah, we're raising up, we're opening up new doorways to our gifts within our souls as well as out here, and it's going to manifest in the earth world for all of us. So Sophia's seeing some pretty dark energies come out of this portal, as well as other energies. She saw about 10 different people around her room or her bed. Isn't that what she said, Rachel? Yeah. And Sophia is, I think 16, 17. And so her gifts are coming out. Rachel was talking to Sophia, and they come out of portals. In Sophia's case, it's in our magic house. Many of you may have these kind of things going on, right? And this is why also it's so important to work with God or universe or love all the time. When you don't know what something is, what do? Ask. You ask. Ask and you shall receive. You don't know what a spirit is, or you're afraid, or you don't know how to handle it. Thanks, God, for handling this for me now, please. Thanks, love, for taking care of this now, please. Thanks for me understanding this. Thanks for the whole God's honest truth of this. You have the power to understand and do and get anything when you work from your heart with love, right? From the healthiest space of love. So you don't have to be afraid at all of your metaphysical gifts. I get people who come to me all the time, and even my Sophia, she's afraid sometimes. She's like, oh, I can't deal with souls, and Mom, I'm scared because there's these dark energies around, right? And we'll talk about dark energies in the future, because I just want to get some of these questions, the main important part of these questions, but we'll talk about dark energies as well into the future. If you guys have any questions, you can easily ask here as well, okay? But with the dark energy stuff, they don't have the power over you. You have all the power. Same thing with people out here. When Joe Biden makes these choices for our government, or our government is all fucked up, you don't have to employ those things with your energy and create the toxic to happen for you, literally, both on a personal level as well as out in the collective. You say, thanks God for me being free of that, whether it's Joe Biden or somebody else or whoever, okay? You follow your heart. You ask God, you ask universe what to do, because you have all the power over your life and in your life. And anybody who vibrates in a less than love energy space, so to speak, in earth world, loses. They're in a less than space. So if you don't vibrate in the highest form of love and work with that love, your battle is already won or lost for you, depending on the vibration of love you go into the storm with. Okay? So heads up, this is why we're here, to teach you how things really fucking work with God. People say to me, oh, well, God doesn't curse. Fuck no. That's not how it works. I'm a person first, and I am a metaphysical being as well. And metaphysical people and people in earth world use terms and beliefs, and everything is about what you believe, right? So when people say to me, oh, well, you shouldn't curse and this and that and the other, curse words are just a form of language to get the emotions through to people, right? And you believing them bad or not is, and however you use them and your intent behind them, right, is super important here, because it's not a bad thing unless you what? Believe it's a bad thing. All right. So this is truth of God. Like, people can be religious and they don't believe she's cursed or all this other stuff. And that's not the truth of God, right? It depends in the space of love you are in your soul, why you're saying those words, what it is that you're saying, how you're using them. It's a big difference between saying, oh, I can't fucking believe this, and how could this happen, right? Or oh, fuck, I just dropped that on the floor. Or fuck you, do you see my point? All right, all these energies go for different things. And sometimes we use them to express anger, sometimes joy, sometimes happiness, whatever it is that we're talking about, right? Now, all these different words, all these different curses, this is the truth of how everything of God works. It's all about your intention as to what is healthiest and best from love, right? I try not to use them too much, right? But sometimes I'm just like, well, fuck it. It just comes right out, right? And that's my people space, but I balance, and that's an earth world, right? It's an earth world term, right? But how you feel about it and what you believe is totally everything from love, of the space of love that you're in. If you think that it's toxic and I'm toxic and you're set in really religious ways or beliefs like sinning and all that stuff, that's okay, right? But you may not agree with what I have to say. It depends on the space of God that we're in. But if we all come from love, it doesn't matter, because as long as I'm not directing my shitty at you, right? You can believe whatever you want to believe as long as you're in your heart and you can honor and respect me from love. And the more you work with love, the more you're going to get the God's honest truth about anything and everything and all that is, okay? So all of this said, back to the portal. This apparently was really important stuff that Universe and me needed to speak about, so you guys all know, right? It gives you some perspectives on some of the stuff and how things work in Earth world. So be aware of what you're saying, why you're saying, who you're saying it to, and what your intent is. Because using crazy words like, oh shit, I can't believe this happened, well, that's not necessarily a bad or toxic thing. It's a surprise, right? But if you're saying he's a piece of shit, well, why are you saying that? What's behind that? What do you have to work on with you? Is this the healthiest, best space that you're in when you say that? Or are you just expressing your feelings in a people space where you have to get it out and then you say, thank you, God, for clearing, healing, and changing that and putting the best way to be from love in place of that? Do you see? Thank you, God, for that for us, right? So you have all the power by working with universe, God, or love energy all the time. And really, this is how you're going to change the world. You don't have to do it to the extent that I do it, but all the time, okay? As much as possible. Feel in your heart what's the right thing to do. So portals are doorways to different dimensions of all that is God. And there's like natural ways that this works in Earth world. Like there's a rule of law of love energy of how this works in Earth world, right? So there's a general rule. Just like if you jump off a building at 6 floors high, you have a great propensity to die, right? To hit the floor and die, right? But there are exceptions to every rule. So as a general rule, there are different portals in different places, and it all has to do with a lot of different things, okay? But our souls are also portals, right? That's how you can basically time travel or go back in time and go forward in time, back in time, as well as different dimensions, as well as in your personal space of God, which is your soul itself. You can go into those spaces and heal those things. And this is all part of the work that we do and are doing. And many metaphysical people and healers and energy workers as well will do these things and aren't necessarily consciously aware of how it works. But you don't necessarily have to be unless somebody asks you and wants the answers. And that's why we're here. But they too can have all the answers. All they have to do is ask God or love or universe, right? And a lot of times that energy gets downloaded into us anyways as we grow spiritually and we do our spiritual work. When we don't address things that are toxic in us, then we end up with a world out here that's crazy and chaotic and fucked up on a personal level as well as a collective level. Okay? So does this make sense to you about portals? Did you have any dark things that you want to talk to? And we can get into these things in the future.
No, I didn't really have much in specific.
Okay.
Yeah.
And thanks God for us getting all the answers and a whole perspective on all of this, as well as everything we've talked to. If there's more information we need, the God's honest truth on for all of us. So we get to it both in Earth world and metaphysically and as well as in spiritual as well and in Saturn's Earth world. Thank you, God, for this for us, and the best way for us to learn something better from love in the purest form. And thank you, God, for that for us. Okay. So, all right. So are we going to do some online questions or?
Well, it's funny because Nikki Oper is actually asking. She says today is a day of Lionsgate's portal. Is that a real thing? And if it is, what does it mean or represent? Yeah.
Oh, great.
All right. Lionsgate portal is an opportunity. There's many different things, and you'll read a lot of different stuff. So my job as the spiritual person I am, and my soul's mission here, is to get you the God's honest truth about anything and everything that you ask for in the most practical, easiest, best earth world terms possible, right? So that's Saturn. All right. I have big Saturn influence. I have a Capricorn moon, right, in my first house. So that gives me, many times that's like having a Pisces moon, right? But again, the reason reason we're talking about this with Capricorn is because Capricorn is Earth world belief systems, right? So in Earth world, okay? And when we talk about this Lionsgate portal, right? And it's no accident that this lovely girl Cheyenne brought in all these beautiful pieces of art, and they're really amazing. And I'd like to talk to you maybe for a few minutes afterwards about what you're doing with that. And if you have any questions, please ask me, okay? Yeah. And thank you. I love them. So what this is about is there's my job is to get you the practical, easiest answers. That's what Capricorn does. It's very quick, very easy to get you in layman's terms the truth about everything. So part of my job, and that's in your moon sign, is your subconscious soul. Okay, the moon is the part of you that opens the doorway to and is the doorway for most people who do a traditional astrology and see just your natal chart or your OG, the original natal chart, right? The moon sign is what taps you into the subconscious of your soul, and then there's other doorways beyond that, which is like your subconscious soul chart, and then that of like family lineages and past life stuff, which we can talk about more into the future. But you can also take my classes and work with me, and all this information comes from Universe Love in the purest form. All right, but back to the Lionsgate thing. All right. It's no accident that Cheyenne came in here and gave us these lion things, because I am a lion person, all right? A lion person is high in Christ energy who comes in to teach love. It's a bringer of information to the world, okay? So Lion's Gate is an opportune time for me, as well as my subconscious soul is Cancer Leo to the 10th degree, right? So I'm going to have massive amounts of lion energy in me, all right? Lion energy is Christ energy. It is Leo energy. It's leader energy. It's king energy. Doesn't make me better than anybody else. It means that these tools are tools that universe with my soul said we need to do this mission here in Earth world. It's never about being better than anybody. It's always about me being my best me and you being your best you, and knowing how things truly work and the tools that we bring and how we use them from love, right? Our intent with them. So Lion's Gate, right? Cheyenne tapped into that energy, brought these in, and Lion's Gate is about living your passion, living your dreams, opening new doorways for you, which is the whole new world and all that is coming, right? For all of us, It's really cool, wicked shit, right? So it's finding your heart, because without our hearts, we can't change this world and the shit that's going on, because we're fighting really a major metaphysical battle of dark and light, which in the future we can get into. But Lionsgate brings all the magical gifts of Leo, high-end Christ energy, understanding, infinite giving, wisdom, amazing gifts and tools. So you can look up everything that is Leo, leadership qualities, new beginnings, new you, abundance, right? And all the gifts of actually the physical lion as well. Okay, so this gives you a good idea of things to look into for this Lion's Gate, and I think it's a portal that goes on. And then what they're showing me and telling me is they're like pouring energy from the sky. It's like golden stars that I can see. Excuse me, and it's like all these wonderful gifts are being poured upon the earth, and this is part of the metaphysical transformation to higher dimensions for all of us. Excuse me, in Earth world. I know what I need, my water, excuse me. In Earth world, to bring us and help us as we go higher and higher and raise the consciousness of this planet. Because what's going to be happening is all light workers and all people, all right, who are in their hearts are all part of everything that is this. And the ones who choose to be their healthiest places of love will come together and to change this planet. So new doorways are coming in, and Lion's Gate is a portal. It's like in the center of every year, because the center is in your heart. Okay, your center is in your heart space, all right? That's where all your most amazing work is going to be done, is when you're in your heart. Because if you're not in your heart, how many of you did things that you hated in your life? You're like, oh, fuck that. I don't want to do that. That sucks, right? But when you love what you do, wow, you can make incredible things. That's the nature of God. And this is the influence that the energy of Lion's Gate has on all of us. Everybody see this cool shit? These are beautiful. I can't get over them. Thank you. Thank you. All right. So go ahead. Who's next?
Margie Edmonds is asking if she will have a future partner, and also if she has any spiritual gifts.
Margie, you do. You will have a future partner. You do have many spiritual gifts. When I get in your energy and your name is Margie Edmonds, it's a very old world name. So I know that in there you have tons and tons of amazing gifts. You're a very old soul. The older the soul, the more gifts we all have. However, the older the soul too, right? This also brings us usually, for most people, like we talked about Saturn's rules of Earth world, right? And the metaphysical rules in Earth world, right? What happens is when you're super gifted, you really have some really, really dark, shitty shit going on in you. And right now we're clearing a lot of that shit out, all of us, at whatever level of God we're at or whatever level of love we're at, to do our soul's mission. And we're all part of the whole collective whole from love, and we're supposed to work together from love. And we're not supposed to be fighting and getting the shit on and all that toxic, but that's why higher vibrational souls or Christ energy is here. So if you're on my page, you got that in you. The question is, are you really doing it, and are you really in that space? So how do you do it? You start talking to universe, God, love. Love. Thanks, love, for this for me. Very simply. Thanks, love, for me doing that. Thanks, love, for handling this now, please. Thanks, love, for the God's honest truth. This is all what I teach and do in practice. And this really is Christ's way of doing things. Like they would say in the old world Bible, right? Ask and you shall receive, or ask the Heavenly Father, right? Everybody's heard about this kind of stuff because from the beginning of time. The truth is, it's not about man religion. It's about love energy. Christ was a love energy prophet. And what he did is he talked to God all the time. That's how he got all his answers. That's what I do. That's what we all have the power to do. The question is, why the fuck don't we do it, right? Why? Right? Because we're so busy thinking in our head and people space, and we get so much crap in our lives that blocks us up that we can't move forward because we have lifetimes of toxic beliefs and energy and habits and patterns and things in our subconscious as well as our conscious that makes us do the things that we do. Right? You don't get married, to give you an example, you don't get married 6 times because you're in a healthy space of you. It doesn't work that way. Right? If you're going to take a partner and you want your partner to last, you got to work on you and be in the healthiest space of you to have the healthiest relationships and life out here from love, right? So the more you work with love energy, if you did nothing of what I teach or you didn't do any metaphysical work and you don't even get what I'm saying here tonight, right? Any of it, right? All you have to do is work with love. Thanks, love, for this for me. Thanks, love, for the God's honest truth. Thanks, love, for the best day. And start creating what you want. You have a challenging situation, like you don't get along with your mom or your dad, or you can't communicate with a friend who, it's their way or the highway with your boss. Thanks, love, for changing that now, please. Thanks, love, for the best solution. Thanks, love, for speaking through me. Thanks, love, for me coming from love. Thanks for me being free of all the toxic that's in me that causes this to happen. Clear it out and put the best way to be from love. It's that simple. And we're going to be doing all of this stuff here on this page, and we're going to probably do healing ones, right? When I say healing, I have to be careful with the bullshit in Earth World about, what exactly healing is, and all the legal crap. But the bottom line is we're talking about soul metaphysical changes, okay? So when I say we're going to be doing healing, that's my definition right now for that, okay? So you get a better idea, all right? And just like with complex questions, if you want help with anything, solutions, guidance, there's all kinds of big problems, government taxes, going to jail, getting in trouble, people taking your house, not having enough to eat. How do I get a job? How do I sell my house? Am I going to be okay? What about my health? These are really personal and big questions. And the older the soul, the more intertwined they are and the more complex they are. So a lot of times I won't address the entirety of it right here, right now on our show, because there's a lot more going on. But I will give you the tools, and we will do the tools to start making this energy and create it to happen. So when people say, God doesn't answer my prayers, that's not true. The second you ask universe for anything, it starts to happen from love, right? It always starts to happen, all right? It just maybe there's more work to do on it, right? To get to the bottom of the whole entire thing or what is going on so that you can make your dreams happen. And these things that are in your soul block things. So the reason I'm telling you all this, Margie, is because in your soul, you're a very old soul and you have a lot of stuff. So when you say, am I going to have a partner? Absolutely. You will have a partner. But it behooves you to work on your old world beliefs. That's why we talked about your name, Margie Edmonds. That's an old world name. It tells me you're super powerful, you're super gifted, but you're also super suppressed kind of in earth world beliefs and you're stuck in like earth world belief systems about what love truly is, right? And we are moving in the world, and you're not the only person. I'm not like singling you out here. Everybody has some of this to clear, me included. We all got shit we got to work on, and we're all doing it, right? So what they're telling me, you have two big angels around you, and they're like over here, like I'm putting it like this. If I was you, this is where I see them. And they are telling me that they are assisting you. You have stuff to clear about you or with you for self-love for you, so you can create a better everything in your life. Because the partners that you will call in, and your soul is telling me, nope, I'm not calling in any more shitty partners. I'm not calling in any more toxic relationships. I'm just not doing it on a subconscious level. Your soul is saying this to me. I got some good soul stories when I get into people's souls. They're fucking funny. They're crazy sometimes. But not to mean that yours is, all right? You're okay. The bottom line is your soul is telling me it doesn't want to hurt. It doesn't want to suffer. So it's telling me it's going to kind of put a relationship over here on the shelf until it gets some stuff done of healing, so to speak, in your soul, right? And so this is your soul. What your subconscious soul always runs the show, right? Whether people realize it or not, your subconscious soul always runs the show, and it makes the choices with and for you. But ultimately, that's why you do things that you don't know why you do them, but you do them, and you're like, some are really good, and then some are really messed up. That's because your toxic gets in the way when it's unwell, right? Why? So that you can heal it, clear it, change it, and then be your best you and live your best life and have the guy that you want or the best partner for you from love. But again, it's about beliefs. What kind of partner do I want? And, what kind of partner am I going to be for them? The best one is what you ask for, right? The best one for me from love, and let me be the best partner for them. And universe will bring it. And clear your blocks. Ask love that no matter who this person is, that you're happy and that you do this work and you bring great things to you. And thank you, God, for that for us in our souls and what we are be, say, do, and create and all that it is in the best way for us to know something better. Thank you, God, for that for us. Okay, so you will be having a partner, but your soul is telling me there's more work to do on this, and your soul, again, is super powerful. It wants to clear those blocks so you can be happy, because your soul doesn't want just some scumbag guy or some partner who just can't be the partner that you need, like the guy who never calls, the guy who's all about himself, the guy who doesn't do the right thing for you, where you have to call him all the time, and he says he's going to be there and he's not, and he disappears for 3 weeks, and you're scratching your head going, what the fuck kind of partner is that? That's not the guy you want. That's not the love that you want, right? So your soul's like, I'm done with that, because what does that do? That hurts. It's designed to hurt. Why? So that we can heal it in us, right? And then we can bring the best partner for us, right? Be happy you're not me, because I've been single for like 20 fucking years, okay? Because my soul is like, yeah, not doing that. But I'm working on my shit. Okay. All right. So Rachel, who's next? I hope that helps you, Margie. And I do feel it'll be about 2-3 years, but it doesn't mean you can't date people. I feel like you're going to figure things out as you go forward in Earth World. We learn and do both metaphysically as well as in Earth World. And each thing triggers different things, both physically in Earth World and in our hearts, and in our souls, for healing as well as for healing emotionally, physically, and to create our best lives for ourselves in this reality. Okay, so do you have another one?
Yes.
Okay.
Linda Gross wrote in. She said, July 30th was the 13th year since my father passed away. His name was Donald Gross, and he was 73 when he crossed over. Does he have any messages or advice for me? Thank you in advance.
Okay, what is her name?
Linda Gross.
And her father's name?
Donald Gross.
Okay. God, can we please talk to Donald now, please? The God's honest truth. Clear and change any and all blocks in us that stop that from happening. Is there any message for Linda? Does she have 2 to 3 family members or siblings that are also with her family or could be considered family for her that her father knows? This is her father, yes?
Yes, her father.
Mm-hmm. All right. Well, I'm picking up on 2 to 3. He's around you guys all the time. He also is telling me about dogs, that he really has a connection with dogs. Let me see what else. I feel like there's also a black lab around, like a black lab type of dog, right? It may not exactly be this, but this is the energy that's around and it's bouncing around. And there's a red bandana on it, and you may know because I feel like he's sending me this energy and telling me this for you so that you can connect. do you have a son? Because I feel like there's a connection between him and what feels like a son energy as well. With an old world name, like the son could be like Michael or Robert or Joseph. Those are old world traditional names that most of you would know, like here in Earth world. The biggest important message is that he wants to tell me for you, Linda, is that you will be well. You will be well. Okay. And I feel like he's talking about your physical health. He is around you, but he wanted to connect with these things. He's also talking something about surfboards, surfboarding, and the ocean as well. So you can put connections. Now, it could be that he liked to surf, you guys like to go to the beach, you like to surf, your son likes to surf. There's like 15 million different ways you can put this together. But he's telling me these things, so either someone in your family and or you can connect with this energy that is him, okay? Let me just see. There's also about baseball caps. He's telling me about baseball caps and blue jeans, flannel shirts with a t-shirt underneath, and almost like occasional sneakers, he's telling me, but work boots go with that. All right, like work boots, like the name that comes in is like Timberland boots, like the old world Timberland boots that everybody knows about now. I think it might be Red. What is that name of that shoe company? Red something.
Red Wing.
What is it?
Red Wing.
Yeah, like Red Wing shoe. Now you hear more. I think more about that, at least in this area here in Virginia Beach. Okay. Oh, yeah. And there's a big water connection and the color light blue for your dad and you guys as well. There's a big water energy running all through the family. That comes in. I look down. I see the top of my water is this blue. And then they show me right after that this blue pad to connect with the blue, the emotions, the water energy. So water is powerful. So this tells me there's a lot of Cancer and or Scorpio or Pisces in these energies, and it's a connection throughout the family. Your family is high-end metaphysical and super gifted. That's also why he's here. He's also one of your guides, whether you realize it or not, and he hangs out with two angels that are like your primary angels. When I say primary, it's not like they're like your underwear and you're with them all the time. All right, it's more like, it's more like they come and go, but they're with you a lot, especially in difficult times. And he does this same time. He's also circling, like walking around a kitchen table, and the kitchen table looks like it's a circle. So you may also know about that. And some kind of old world big tile floor with white tiles and like little speckles in it. He's telling me about. And a couch with wooden legs that's kind of like this couch here. I don't know if you saw it, but you can look on my Facebook. If you can see back here, it's kind of like has cushions like this, and it feels like it's like almost like from like the 60s and the 70s. It's not like a sectional. And the color blue comes in like that. Like this one here is like a red, and the other one comes in as like a blue. He's telling me it's very comfortable. So all of these things are somehow connected to you with that. In these things can be in your house and him. And if we have more time, we'd get to the bottom of it. But I have other questions. So you can also bring other questions too, questions you have about this for next time as well. Because when we do medium work, people go, well, I don't know if I really connect with that, because we think so linear and we think so earth world, right? But we don't always think about these ways. So how do we get to the bottom of all these things and information that I'm getting, and write all this down? Like rewind this tape of me doing this here, write it down, because there'll be so much that you don't understand now because it gets emotional, right? And when we get emotional with things, it blocks us from understanding and seeing, as well as our earth world belief systems stop us from being able to understand. I do a lot of medium work, right, where people go, I don't know what the fuck you're talking about, and then they call me days later, or they go home and they go, oh my God, this and this and this and this and this and this happened, and I know exactly what you're talking about, or my aunt told me this and now I get it and everything's coming in now. So this will happen. So even if you don't feel like you connect with this right now, you will, right? Or you may go 6 months from now, or a dream will come in and you'll see your father and he'll be surfing on a surfboard and you'll be like, holy fuck, right? This is, all these things are what happens because it's not in the way we think here in Earth World. Okay, so how we get to the bottom of this, or the truth of this, so we can understand it better. Thanks God for explaining these things in Earth World. The God's honest truth. And then next week, when you call in, we can explore this even more if you feel like it. But he is one of your guides. He hangs out with these two pretty big angels. There's like there's different size angels and different size energies, but they're like almost like they're like people size angels. But they're not. They're a little bit bigger in size. And these two are with you a lot. They're telling me a real lot because you've had some pretty tough times in your life, so they feel like they're basically saying we're here to help you with that, help you balance these some of the rough stuff and the rough times. And your dad is kind of like he's kind of like this. He goes like this with his hand, like he's like, and I'm here too. What else can you tell me? What is his first name? Do you remember?
Donald.
And there's some of you wondering why I don't remember his first name. A lot of times what happens is when I get in the energy, I will remember it, but I won't. But when we get into souls, our name is our identity for this lifetime. We have been many different people, energies in many different lifetimes and have many different identities. So what happens is I have to hook into him in the person he was in this world to you at this time based through his identity and a lot of times birthdays and things like that. It's hooking into this energy of the now. So what do? We ask for that. Thanks God for these gifts for us. So you all know how you can do this, okay? All right. So anything else from Donald for name?
Linda Gross.
Linda Gross. Know that he's your guide. He's around you a lot more than you know, especially at he's saying coffee time. And so I feel like it's morning tables. I see a old world window that's white with paint. On the molding, and there's squares, kind of like the windows here, these little window squares. And I feel like it's like almost like a kitchen window that you can push up. It's an old world window. So that he's showing me that. But also there's something else that he really wants to say. And this is the most important thing about this work, is that it's about connecting. It's about connecting to him, and it is about love and healing. So this is healing internally, emotionally, and in all ways, okay? So he's also telling me to tell you that he loves you very much, and he is with you all the time, and more than you know. And his favorite time with you is he's telling me was when you were a child, a baby. Oh, and that's my weak spot. I love babies. I'm like, oh my God. Yeah. Because he's saying he could hold you, and he could be a kid with you. You know what I mean? Like when you're an adult, you don't really get many opportunities to be a kid, but when you have kids, it allows a doorway to be a kid. And that's healing, and that's something that we don't allow ourselves to do. And that's also about Leo energy, because it's about healing our inner child. It's about having fun and passion and creativity, right? And being a child, the door is wide open for all that is God, because they are creation. So that's also what Lionsgate is about. But that's one of the really special things he's telling me about you. And he's saying to me, all the kids, all right? That's one of the things that he loves. Okay, so this is good gifts for you. Okay, go ahead. Anybody? Wait, let me just check with Jen. What do you got, Jen? Anything?
Nope. I got nothing. I defer to Rachel.
All right, she's deferring to Rachel. Wait, let me check audience. Anybody?
I just broke an iodine bottle right before the class. Did you get anything on that?
Oh, wow. All right. What's the God's honest truth? Steve in the back. He says that he just broke an iodine bottle before class. And what's crazy about that, this is about your healing. This is about thyroid, and iodine has to do with thyroid, right? So this is about you healing long time hormonal health issues, both metaphysically, physically as well. And it's about transformation in this area, and that's why the bottle of iodine broke. Pretty cool shit, right? Yeah. So this is exciting. I want to cry because I'm so happy for you. You know what I mean? Yeah. Okay. So Steve broke a bottle of iodine. That's the answer to why this happened. It's the primary answer. Now there can be many and will be many other things. Like if you go to different psychics or different metaphysical people, or you may get a different answer too, right? Everything is indicative to the space of God you are in. When people come to me, I give them the straight up God's honest truth, the biggest chunk of the truth of why this happened. Practical, earth world, Saturnian. So you guys can get it, but it doesn't mean that anybody else's messages are not valid, right? It means that we're all in different spaces of God, and we help and assist each other with all of this stuff, the metaphysical work we do, and everywhere in our lives from love. Okay. Girls? Jennifer's got this big shit-eating grin on her face here.
I brought a Can I throw out a topic?
Sure. Who's that? Is that Molly in the back?
Yes.
Hi, Molly. Sure. What would you like to throw out?
Can you just talk about family lineage and explain it?
Okay, Molly would like to ask about family lineage and explain that, because a lot of people come to me and they're like, I need to do ancestral healing, ancestral healing. Is this kind of like where you're going with this, Molly?
Yes.
Okay. All right, so here's how the soul works. When you come in, I thank you, God, for the God's honest truth of the best way to explain this from love in the purest form. Practical, easiest, best way for all to understand. All right, so when you come into Earth World dimension, we come in the physical way of being birthed into Earth World, right? For the most part. All right, so we have a mother and a father. Our soul, the people who we pick out and our family lines is what and who we choose for our soul's mission. Okay, so our soul's mission is about has everything to do with the family that we pick in, that we choose to come in with. Okay, and it goes back lifetimes in this lineage. Okay, and there'll be like what people would call curses and things like that, but they're not really curses in like the way that people would think. I'm just going to adjust this light because I think it's like being kind of strange there. Okay, so they're not really curses in the way that we think. Okay, so when you ask me about family lineage, what happens is you came into Earth World in this family line, and with all the deficits and all the gifts from history of this particular family time here or family line in Earthworld. Your soul directly picked that. So when people say, oh my God, I got cancer and it was in my family lineage, that's not really the truth, right? It is in your family lineage, but you didn't get it because of that. The reason you got it is because you were some form of lack within yourself and your soul manifested this into your reality, okay? When your soul does this is all part of the grand design of how things truly work with God. So you have the power, though, at any time to change it by working with universe, both physically and metaphysically in Earth World, to change your unwell health. And so that the family lineage that you choose is so you heal these things that will manifest in your reality. So there's a propensity for that to happen in your family lineage, in your reality, whether it's Alzheimer's or rheumatoid arthritis or cancer or any kind of sickness, as well as metaphysical gifts. Maybe you're an artist. Maybe you're a great writer. Maybe you're a singer or a surfer or an artist, right? So maybe you're an artist as well. So the bottom line is all these gifts come from your family lineage, just like mine, right? The older the soul, right? The older the eternity of family lineage they are going to pick, right? So the highest forms of consciousness come from the longest term of time, if you thought about it in Earth World ways, as linear in Earth World. But it comes from the oldest souls from the beginning of time of all that is God, or the highest form of consciousness is. Why? Because in Saturn's Earth World and in all that is God, you don't get anything for free, and you don't get anything without doing the work, right? You have to be authentic in who you are and truth of God from love, right? And that's how you're going to make your greatest strides, is doing what you love and being in alignment with the law of love energy or universe and all that is God, so you can live your greatest life. But your family lineage contains all the things that you have to work on, all of your gifts that are in your soul, right? So you came in with that in your soul energy. Your family lineage helps you manifest that out here in Earth World. Everything from my blonde hair to my blue eyes to my height to the colors that I wear, the things that I like, the relationships that I have. A lot of times you will find that, let's say in family lineage, what happens is, my father and mother were married. Let's say one of them was married to somebody else, and let's say my father had an affair. Okay, let's just say that. And then I was the baby. All right, for hypothetical purposes here. All right, let's say that happened. Well, there's a propensity in me to do the same fucking thing if I'm not aware of that and I don't work on my soul, because it's all in and will be triggered in the family lineage of those things within my soul, because they work hand in hand together. It's all part of the design of God, as well as in your metaphysical. Crazy shit manifests in your physical body. Like you'll become sick. let's say maybe you had a fire in a last lifetime and you were burned to death. You may get like psoriasis or a skin disorder all over your body, right? Because you didn't deal with your metaphysical crap or your emotional stuff as well as your physical stuff about having those things in you, and you have all these bad feelings or energies in you that are toxic. When I say bad, nothing is bad, but it's stuff that isn't healthy in you. So therefore it would manifest 5 lifetimes from now if I didn't heal it. And I would deliberately come into that family line, that family ancestry, because I need to heal this, right? Just like, I know people who say to me, oh my God, I'm on my 6th husband. And then you find out that their parents also were married 6 times, right? But if you do the work, then you stop that shit cold in its tracks. And it's less likely to happen anymore in your life, like 110%, if you do all the metaphysical work connected to it and work with universe or love or God in the purest form as much as possible, and learn about all this stuff simultaneously, because everything goes hand in hand together. So when you say family ancestry, does that help to explain it and understand that, Molly?
Yes, thank you.
You're welcome. And there will be many more questions, and there's more to do with this as well, right? Because this family lineage brings a propensity for everybody who came in that. Let's say you have a mother, a father, an aunt, an uncle, brothers and sisters. All these people have different variations of the similar things in energy that can manifest at any time, depending on the deficits in your soul. And by working through all of this energy, and there's different ways to do this, but astrology is a fantastic way, right? But always the very first way is talk to God. You want to be free of this shit? Thanks God for that for me. You don't say, fuck, I don't want that. You say, thanks for me being free of it, right? Totally different energy, because the more you get crazy and don't want something, the more it creates what you don't want. Donald Trump was a great example of that in his presidency. More people who fucking hated him, the more those people live miserable lives, were nasty fuckers, right? And the more they threw that energy to him, not because of the choice of president, but because of their unwell energy that they wailed at him. And the more they wanted him to not be president, the more that energy went to making him president. And that's a great example in the collective of how things really work. If I came from my heart and said, you know what? Why can't Donald Trump be the best president for our country? Thanks God for that for us. Then that energy goes to great things for me, because I'm coming from love and I'm saying, hey, I can create this dude to be shitty or my life to suck, or I can create great things for me, for him, and everybody. Who do I want to be? That's what I'm talking about, coming from love. How many of you can put aside your bullshit and get out of that hate space and into a space of love and say, hey, I can change this? And who benefits the most? You do, from love. And everybody else who's around you that's in your life. Doesn't this make sense? Yeah. So the question is, this is where we are moving, but the question is, why wouldn't we do this? Why? So fucking simple, right? So this is why I'm here every week at 7:15, because we're going to learn how to do this. We're going to answer your questions. We're going to get to the bottom of fucking everything that is God and all that is, so that we can change this world to love in the purest form. And that's our job here, really, right? Okay. And have a greatest time. Leo. All right? Okay, and have a great time. Go ahead.
Well, first, Anne, Ed, Sasha, and Rock, I'll say hello.
Hi, everybody. Hi. Thanks, everybody, for coming, too. Thanks.
Okay. Also, Candy Bernard is writing in for Teresa Courtney Lloyd, because Teresa is in Facebook jail and can't comment, but she's watching, and she also says hello.
Oh, Teresa!
Let's go to the top of the list.
Oh, tell her I'm so sorry, and she put up that nice little ad for us, How cool. Tell her I'm so sorry. I totally hear and get Facebook jail, right? It's just more of the control shit going on that is out of alignment with the highest form of love. Okay, so go ahead.
Candy is asking for Teresa. Teresa would like to know what color aura is around her, and Candy would also like to know the same question.
Blue, purple, red, pink, orange. And it goes out from there in this moment right now, because it's always changing as we change, as we raise our vibration and we come and have other understanding and better understanding of all that is God, right? As well as our deficits. What is triggered in the stars also brings out in our auras and energies different changes, as well as emotional stuff, again, that triggers us. That's all in the grand design of the transit in astrology. So this will trigger that stuff to come out of us for our best healing, and our aura will reflect that. So let's say I'm going through something in Earth World, like to give you an example of what I'm talking about. And I will tell, who's the second person that's asking for Teresa?
Candy.
All right, please just hold that, because I'll come back to Candy's aura in a minute. But this is for both of them in terms of learning about auras. Thanks God for bringing me back to that place. With the auras and what we're talking about here. So different auras will change at different times. Let me give you an example. Let's say you have some malefic shit going on in your 7th house in astrology, right? And in other placements in your Earth World OG original chart in astrology, all right? Because the stars are the catalyst of all that is God, right? And they trigger things in you. And let's say it's in your 7th house with your house of relationships, long-term relationships, and it triggers these things in you, the stars, meaning Mars, or Jupiter and Mars, have an opposition to the moon, and it's in your 7th house and it's hitting your vertex. Okay, just to give you a crazy example, right? But then there'll be like 3 or 4, and usually many times like 5 to 8 to 10 different things in your chart that will trigger these things. So they cause things to happen in your Earth world, right? So let's say this is happening, and so your 7th house is about long-term relationships, and now you're getting a divorce with your husband. But this was all part of your soul's grand design. It's in your chart because this is about your best learning. But so you're going through a difficult time emotionally, and there'll be times when your aura will reflect the toxicity of the stuff that you're going through or the difficult times that you're having. It happens every day. In moments you can physically make yourself sick, you know what I mean? Like my mother one time went and bought a house and a property and wasn't prepared and just did it, and then like her liver literally she became really sick in her liver. So different things manifest in different ways because this was about my mother's personal stuff, right? But I'm using her example because everything manifests in us physically, mentally, spiritually, and in our reality. Okay, so your aura does a reflection of that. So if it's in my liver, in my mother's liver, let's say, it could come out in her heart chakra as well, and her heart chakra may be really green and shining because it's trying to heal. But also on the other side of that coin, you could also have a time where a child comes in the room that you really love, and in your aura shines all this green for love and heart chakra. Do you see what I'm saying? So it works in all different ways at all different times, and it's a balance, right? What's the most prominent energy at any given time, just like in your astrology and in your soul, that is governing you, and the more you're in your heart, the best outcome and the best when I say aura colors or the healthiest aura you will have, okay? So, and different colors mean different things, okay? So that said, you could send me a picture too, or bring a picture here, and we could snapshot it on here or see if we could do that, so that we could talk about what you're going through now and what universe tells me about that to do a more personalized way of doing that. But I gave you the colors for yours, Teresa, in this moment, and the other one was Candy, right?
Yes.
This is really funny. Because what's coming in is with Candy's name is like Candy Striper. And what's funny about this is that Candy has a really good gift for healing, right? So does Teresa too, but this is really coming in strong right now for Candy. So this is a message good for her, that she really needs to know about. But what's funny about it is stripes. So they're showing me that your colors are like basically right now, and it's funny because they're telling me these are a lot, and it's indicative to you like the colors of a rainbow, like Roy G. Biv, red, orange, yellow, green, blue, indigo, violet. And your aura, funny shit. And this is also about healers' auras as well. Master healers, on a subconscious level, your soul will do that and make whole entire rainbows through your aura very often, and a lot, especially when you're doing healing work. And healing work comes in anything. It comes in metaphysical. It comes in by opening the door for somebody who's elderly. It comes in for bringing flowers to somebody who's sad or sick. It comes in for just giving somebody a hug. I mean, healing is in everything, right? All right. So it's pretty neat, though, that your aura really does this prominently. And I don't really feel that you're aware of this or have been aware of this. And you will be tapping into this energy more and more. Why rainbow? Because rainbow is all the colors of life. The pot of gold is in your best healing. In your best abundance is having everything versus nothing. If you have everything from love, then you're truly happy. And all the colors are all that is God. And you want to be happy and healthy in everything that you are, and abundant in everything that you are from love, right? But this is all part of your special gifts. And this also comes from elemental lifetimes for you in Candy. And I also feel like in the 1940s, you had a lifetime as a as candy stripers, many times in hospitals, helping and going around to hospitals and helping people heal just by bringing a beautiful light and energy and that rainbow light. Whether you realize it or not, it's subconsciously brought in through your soul. It's really fucking cool. Yeah.
She said that you brought tears to her eyes and goosebumps.
Cool shit. Tears and eyes and goosebumps. That's always a good sign, right? Most of the time, right? Okay.
Ready for the next one?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Regina is asking, how do you know if you have spiritual gifts?
Okay. How do you know? Well, the first thing that I do is if I want to know what my spiritual gifts are, I'm going to ask God. Thanks, God. Thanks, love, for me knowing, right? Whether you can say God, you can say angel, you could say, anybody that you connect with from love as your guides. And if you don't know who your guides are, you ask God for those. So the answer is yes, you do. You would not be here. We all have spiritual gifts. We are all super gifted. The question is, do you practice and are you in that space? Because in Earth World is about physical and it's about doing. So you want to open up those gifts. You ask God for them. You ask love for them. You ask the angels for them, whatever it is that you connect with. I use God all the time because the universe tells me that people who have God need to get to me. And that's the main title I use from love. And it is a name. It is a name for higher power, right? And it is also, if people feel bad that don't want to call it God, that's okay. But you have to ask yourself, why is that, right? Okay. But going backwards, right? Because why is that? We would ask that. Why do you not want to connect to God? So that tells me about past life healing or things that need to be healed inside your soul, habits, patterns, beliefs, energies from past religious related things or assessments that your soul made. So that's why you would have a hard time with a God connection, so to speak. All right. Or that you feel God betrayed you or have issues with religion and all of that. So, if people who don't connect with God, you have to say to yourself, okay, why is that? If it's any kind of toxic, like if you're repulsed by it or you don't feel good about it, right? Okay. But going back to what we were talking about, thank you, God, for bringing us there now, please. All right. Can you refresh me with the question, Rachel?
She's asking, how do you know if you have spiritual gifts?
Okay. Yeah. So you ask God for those, right? And with the spiritual gift thing, all right, we all have them, but you have to do. All right. Let me just go and see what else. Ask and you shall receive. And if you want these gifts, you ask God for what it is that you want. All right. So do you want to see things in your head? Do you want to feel things in your heart? Do you want to feel things in your physical body? But always remember, be careful what you wish for. You can do anything. And I see so many people who are so gifted, could be so much more. The issue is that they don't work with God or love all the time and they're not in their hearts and they do toxic shit, right? And they can't help it, but they don't do anything about it, and they can't get past their walls to change that within their souls. So the answer is yes, you have many spiritual gifts. You have all the gifts that I have, right? Super powerful healing gifts. You are a seer. When I say seer, it's like that's just another word for a psychic. You could also see what's coming in the future for premonitions. And how do you know this? All right. Listen and log your dreams. Ask God. Talk to God all the time about it. When I don't understand what's happening or what's happening, like I'll drive around the road and I see some crazy shit. Right? Sometimes a lot of times I see multidimensional and I have to sit down and go, oh my God, am I really seeing this? I'm like, because I see some crazy things that happen, right? But these are all part of our metaphysical gifts. And I'll go like that and I turn and then it's gone, whatever I saw out here. And then I'll say, okay, God, I saw this creepy thing or I saw this animal over here. I know it's not from this dimension. What is going on? What's the God's honest truth? And so when you see things, there's many ways to tell if you have gifts. One is you do a lot of dreaming, right? And you remember a lot of your dreams. You dream in color. You dream in black and white, right? And there's reasons for all of this for everybody. Also, you know things. You're an empath. You feel other people's feelings. You know what somebody else is thinking. You feel things in your heart. Like you'll see things in dreams into the future. So there's 1,000,001 ways that these things work, right? But the more you ask God to open these gifts, to have these gifts and abilities on all levels and in all that they are. Thank you, God, for that for us. Clear, heal, and change our blocks in the healthiest, best way. The better off you're going to be, right? Because you will be able to work with God in the universe, and you ask God and work with God so you can do this work. So you understand the truth about what's going on, and you talk with the universe, and you'll hear. Like, I hear voices in my head since I was a little kid, always talking to me. And then I got the shit on because I got scared because my parents were like, oh, we're going to put you in a mental institute because because you could have schizophrenia, and I freaked out, and they shut off all my gifts because I was scared, right? All right, and the truth is, some of the most challenged people mentally who are so tormented, from drug addicts to schizophrenics to bipolar, they're just fuck-ups, meaning toxicities and unwellnesses, because they're such super powerful, gifted old souls, right? But the stuff inside of them, the energies run amok. Right? And so Earthworld's like, oh, well, they can't function out here in Earthworld reality. But if they really knew how to heal them, which is all the stuff that we do here, right? Or change these things and give them different tools, the whole world would change. Because we change what's happening in here and we create what's happening out here simultaneously at the same time. We change all of this, right? So the more we work with universe and love is where we get all the answers. The same thing in physical healing as well. This is where you're going to get all your answers. They come from God and highest knowing. Bill Gates doesn't have shit on me. I don't care what kind of fucking genius he is or how much money he has. Bill Gates ain't talking to God. This is the truth. So anybody who believes the science and the bullshit of the world that's going on out here and doesn't fit, follow, come from their hearts is at a deficit. I don't care who the fuck you are or what you believe. You got some shit going on in here. That's got to go, because it's creating some kind of toxic in you. All right. So working with love is where these unwell people have to go, because anybody who wants to take over the world and world currency and force vaccinate and do all this crazy shit is fucked up. Seriously, fucked up in here. And then you have a whole bunch of them. Sorry, I had to say this because this is truth of God, because love doesn't operate this way. No way, no how, in the purest form. And if you work with love all the time, you will know this in your head, in your heart, and in all ways. Because that's the truth of God. If you don't believe me, follow your heart. Start doing the work that I do. You'll see the truth in everything, from closing your eyes and asking God to the keys on a table or that you can't find, or what you should do. Should you go to the doctor for this headache, or is there a natural remedy for you, right? Everything is all part of the grand design of God and love. And as long as you come from your heart space with everything you do, you're going to change not only your world and live your greatest life, but also the whole world out here. Right? And the more of us who do this, the more those people who aren't in their hearts can never win. And the more we change the world to freedom, to love, to happiness, to joy, to the best solutions, because toxic doesn't make good things happen. It's not the nature of God and the law of love. Anytime I got myself into trouble, didn't honor other people, didn't respect other people, slept with the neighbor's husband, the shit hit the fan in my life. Anytime I did stupid shit like that, it came back to kick my ass, because that was my unwellness. And universe takes care of that karma. Do you see? Yeah, because that's truth of God, man. When you do unwell shit and you can't help it, you have to say, okay, God, I need to change these patterns in me, these energies in me. And some of them are really tough, right? So you talk to God for the best healers, the best people, the best teachers, the best of everything you need in your life. That's what I do and did way back when. And I've done this work for lifetimes, just like you guys have, because you don't get these kind of God gifts by just like pulling them out of the hat and sitting on your ass on the couch, right? No, you don't get those. You have to do lifetimes, just like with age comes wisdom. You live your whole entire life. And what do they do since tribal times in the energy of cultures, right? Everybody goes to the elderly. Why? Why are those the tribal people who rule the roost, who share their gifts, their wisdom? Because they've lived and they know. And that's part of Saturn's Earth world. With age comes wisdom, right? Okay, so you have plenty of gifts. I hope this gives you tools to go forward with. And if not, text me if you didn't understand that. Ask God to open your gifts. Ask God that you work with the universe, because I know plenty of spiritual people and healers that don't know what the fuck they're doing, because they open up a can of worms in somebody's soul and the person starts to freak out or some kind of shit happens and they don't know how to handle it. Duh. Talk to God. God gets me the answers all the fucking time, because I'm like, okay, God, shit, how do I handle this when somebody fucking freaks out on me and I'm working with them to heal them, right? Emotionally, spiritually, in all ways, right? Because we all have toxic stuff in us, right? But we can't do the work if we don't know how to do it, if we don't hook up to love. All your answers are in the highest form of love all the fucking time with everything in your life. This isn't my rules or my gifts. This is the law of love energy. And anything I can do, here it is for you. Okay? All right. Go ahead. What's next? Everybody get that? Neat shit, right? All right. Go ahead.
Jessica says hello, and Sherry Sexton Walter says, thank you, Lynn. You are so real, and I love it.
God bless you all. And thank you, everybody. Thanks. Okay. Go ahead.
Ann Williams is asking if she will hear from her guys soon. They haven't been in contact due to something going on. He said we'll see each other in the next 2 weeks, wondering if we will.
Yeah, I don't feel like it. I don't feel like it right now, and I even hate to tell you this. Ask God to free yourself from wanting this so badly because, and thank you, God, for that for us now, please, and put the best way to be from love in place of this, because this is going to help you not hold on to this, because the more you hold on to this so tight, the more you push it back and stop it from happening, okay? All right, what's up next?
Tyler, Nikki's friend, is saying that her best friend's name is Raven. She would like to know why they're together. I think there's a past life story behind us, but she's scared to explore that past life.
Okay. This is a little, I want to understand with clarity this. Mm-hmm. Okay, so Nikki has a friend named Raven.
Nikki's friend Tyler is asking the question. Tyler's best friend's name is Raven, and that's who the question is about.
Okay, it's about Raven and who?
Tyler.
And their relationship?
I believe so.
All right, the biggest thing that comes in right off the bat is a couple things. There's a love affair. There's a long-standing love affair of lifetimes with this. And this isn't just one lifetimes, this is many. This is 23, 24, 25, 26, 27, and this goes beyond that. And this is lots of tormented ones as well. In this lifetime, it feels that this is supposed to heal whether you're together or not. I don't necessarily feel like you should be together necessarily. This is about two people doing their work, but there's definitely a connection. But there's many different relationships that have gone on between you guys through lifetimes of love affairs as well. There's mother and daughter relationships. There's sister and brother relationships, granddaughter and grandson relationships, and many lover relationships in between that in lifetimes. So there's a really big connection in this, okay? The name Raven, interesting enough, comes in as bringing the notification of death. All right. In other words, you have metaphysical gifts, right? Ravens come to the door, to the window. We see a lot of ravens or crows. They're higher beings. They many times will signify death and crossing over for somebody in your family, or metaphysical dimensional change. And usually it's that it is coming. So it's like a sign, and usually it's a pretty quick earthworld sign. So the name Raven tells me that that you have like Cancerian gifts, medium gifts, metaphysical gifts, a higher knowing of educating people about death, dying, transformation. You would not have that name, even if it is a nickname and it's a connection to the raven, right? If you have a lot of shapeshifter magic energy in you as well. Ravens are shapeshifters and multidimensional overall. And so if you don't already do metaphysical work, Raven, you should, but you should be able to work within yourself as time goes on, and you work with your gifts to heal this, because this is multi-dimensional healing, but this is also right here in your soul. You ask God how to heal this, how to change this. But yeah, there's tons of stuff. And what this is about, what universe is showing me, like one of my exes, it's like we've had 26, 27 lifetimes together. And in fact, we even have a child in this lifetime, right? And he really was like the love of my life. But the reason I'm telling you this is because we've had lifetimes a really toxic shit in many of them, of like slave and ownership and kings and tortures and some really gross, nasty, toxic stuff, right? And crazy being in love with each other for lifetimes. And it also is a twin flame energy, right? All right, so being in love with each other from lifetimes with this, all right? But every single time somebody got the shit on, couldn't heal their shit, it was toxic. But it's not about that he has to heal, it's about that I do. He has to heal his own shit for him. I have to heal my own shit for me, if this can work out in a relationship together, and then we work together for our greatest relationship. But ultimately, this is a spiritual journey when you have this many lifetimes in such a profound connection, right? But I mean, he did crazy things. Like, I was a high-end prostitute in a past lifetime in Paris, right? And I remember being on him, or being with him, meaning in this lifetime, and we were on a bridge, right? One of those stone bridges, like Van Gogh, or what is that painter? Monet, right? And we were on one of those wild bridges that you see in Paris, and we were standing there, and he was one of my clients, right? And in my head, in my heart, my toxic heart at the time, because this is a long time ago in a different lifetime, right? He wanted me to marry him and leave the high-end call girl life and making all my money and having my riches. But I was so in love in that time with having lots of nice things and all these lovely admirers and getting whatever I want. And we were standing on the bridge, and he asked me for like the 10th time in that lifetime. They're telling me it was actually like the 27th that he asked me to marry him and be with him and leave this life behind, right? And this is lifetimes ago. I feel like this is really early in the 1800s. It's fucking funny though. And he said to me, I want to be with you. And I was like, I'm like, you don't make enough money to be with me. And he got pissed, right? He got really, really mad. And he threw me over the bridge into the water. And I died. And as I was going down, I remember my soul. It's like a game we play, a toxic game, me and him, our souls, of I'm not going to be with you in this lifetime for some dumbass fucking reason and shit that I didn't heal in me, right? So I'm falling, and I see these visions, right, that come in for me so that I can heal this, right? He's standing up. He ended up going to jail in that lifetime because he killed me. Right? He threw me over the bridge because he was angry. And I was a piece of shit. I told him, I said, hey, you don't make enough money for me to be with me, right? How fucked up is that, right? But these are our lessons and our learning and the shit we carry with us through lifetimes in some way, shape, or form in this energy, right? But I remember when I was falling down into the water, which is so crazy, right? I remember when I was falling down into the water, I remember thinking, oh, that piece of shit, he did it again to me. He's killing me. He killed me. I can't believe he killed me. And I feel those things. It's so crazy. But this is the reason I'm telling you this is because this is the kind of shit you got going on. You two. Is it Tyler and Raven, right? Yeah. Yeah, so it's pretty funny shit. It's funny, but it's not, because it can really jack up your life if you don't heal or clear and change this energy and create it to be different, But if nobody teaches us this shit, then we don't know, All right, so go ahead. Who's next?
Sasha is asking, what can you tell her about light beings? Where can I begin my research on that?
When you say light beings, I would say look up the word and what exactly it means. To me, a light being is a person who, or not necessarily, well, in Earth world it's a person, but it is an energy that is of higher wisdom, knowing of God, that goes from dimension to dimension to teach love, to be love, to do and work with love. They come in healers, they come in all different variations and all different missions, sharers of knowledge, writers, artists, creators, but these are people who are high end, the highest levels of God, and being Christ consciousness and other levels of love energy, because there's all different levels of God or universe and all that is, right? So a light worker is really an energy that is so in love with love itself that its whole life is about that. And in the highest form of consciousness, which is that Christ energy, in the purest form of it, is where the purest souls are. And so it's the ones that can't stop. It's the ones that keep going in this space and will end up in the end doing their work and doing what they need to do and changing the world and changing, and they have a mission, right, and live their greatest lives. Now, it depends on the healing, and the stage and the level and the process of the vibration you're in, what your plan is, how you plan to do with it, and your soul's mission. But basically a light worker is that. And so, and if you want to know if you are one, because you just feel in your heart. It's kind of like what the right thing to do is always. And you might not always choose it. Like when I told my ex, when I told him and he was my client, in that past lifetime that I just mentioned, and I was like, that fucker, man, you don't make enough money for me, bitch. Basically that's what it was like, and so that's me not choosing that from a past lifetime, having vindictive, shitty feelings for him and being like, fuck off, right? But that came and kicked my ass physically in that earth lifetime. He went to jail because he didn't make the right choice. And then we come back in another lifetime to heal this shit inside of us, or with us and with each other, whether it's this lifetime or 10 lifetimes from now, or with him or somebody else. The bottom line is, the work must be done in our souls to understand highest levels of love, to be the greatest us we can be from love, and live our greatest lives here now and through eternity, right? Okay, so I'm going to ask anybody out here have questions. How about you, Cheyenne? Anything?
The only one I can think of is very vague.
It's what?
It's vague.
Okay, so let me see if I can help you. Thank you, God, for that for us.
I want to know what to do. I don't know what to do.
With your life? Okay. And it's good that you asked that, because so many of us are going through crossroads. Cheyenne's question, she feels, is vague, but it's really not. It's super important, because a lot of us don't know what we're doing or where we're going in this lifetime, right? We spent like a year and a half to God, I don't even know how long at home, all right, but a really long time at home and working on our souls and being suppressed with all of the stuff that was going on. And again, it's the grand plan of God, right? We have to trust the universe that this is so, right? Because love wins always. Okay, so Cheyenne is asking, where do I go with my life? It seems very vague. I don't know where I'm going to go. And so all of us are going through higher levels of love as the planet progresses in vibration. We are going to move up in our vibration as well with the planet. So our new destinies, our new doorways. So we will be letting go of a lot of friends, a lot of family, making new connections, not working with the people that we used to know and work with, because we have grown and we have changed. So new doorways, universe, in the next 6 to 8 months and well into the future, 2 to 3 to 5 to 8 years, new doorways are going to open up. This beautiful work that you do, Cheyenne, is just one part of all of your gifts. And it's beautiful, incredible stuff. You're super creative. So this is the doorway. This is one of those doorways that's your most powerful stuff. And a lot of times, spiritual people are creatives by nature. 99.9% of the time, right? They're artists, they're singers, and they don't even realize it half the time, most of the time, really, in the way that, let's say, we're talking about here or think of it here. You know what I mean? When I see, what do I see for you coming in the future? I see new doorways opening for your art. This stuff is beautiful. I think you should, I feel, and when I say I think, it's really I feel. My thinking is feeling from my heart. All right, that's what wisdom is. It is thinking and feeling from your heart. It's intellect and heart. Okay, so you guys all know, right? So when I say I think, it's really for me, I feel. That's about Pisces in the 3rd house. That's about Saturn in the 3rd house. That's about Neptune and a whole bunch of other placements in the 3rd house, right? That give me a high-end spiritual space of thinking, communicating for this mission. Okay, so when I say that, when I think, I'm thinking with my heart. That's how I do this. And many of you will find these same placements in your chart, because your mission is in a similar vibration. It's just a different energy. All right, it doesn't mean it has to be exactly the same, but you will have placements in your charts. All right, all of that is God, to understand you and your mission better. And you can always work with me and do it, but you can always ask God and do it yourself, right? Or you can come to our classes too, our paid for events as well, right? Okay, so the bottom line is, I feel your work is super healing and super beautiful. I feel like you have an ability. Have you thought about doing things with tarot decks, tarot cards, books? Yeah, and you're saying yeah, right? Yeah, go for it, girl. Go for it. I will sponsor them in my shop and sell them, and I'll help you with that. If you want to keep coming, I'll give you guidance from the universe to do this, because I feel like you can do astrology cards. You have some of the most beautiful pieces that I have seen, and that for sure is a gift. Like, I see a lot of tarot stuff and decks. There's a lot of beautiful stuff out there, but yours shines. There's no doubt in my mind. And so I feel that you will connect with different tarot decks for different reasons. Just like you made 3 of these lions, I think these are 3 different aspects of Leo energy as well as Christ energy. I feel like you will do a spiritual deck. I feel like you will do an astrology deck. I feel like you will do a book. I feel you get a lot of money. I feel like you'll do shows. You may even work with us if you feel called to it, because the new world is not going to be the same way as the old world. There's no more Hollywood. There's no more sports stars. There's There's none of that, because the new world, it's still going to be here for vibrational earth world people, but the new world famous is the humanitarians, love energy beings, entrepreneurs, people who do shit truly, authentically in their hearts to change the world, whether it's the beautiful art that you make and live your dreams, or, you know, you do shows, but your work is super powerful, super healing, super high-end. God, you would not have bought in all these lions if it was not. Do you see what I'm saying? And those are hot lions. They're hot, and their energy feels fantastic. They bring passion to people. They bring dreams to people. They open their hearts. And this is what your cards and your gifts, this is all part of what they're going to do. So start looking into how you do it. The most important thing, what they're telling me for you, is consistency, right? Start talking to God. Hey, God, give me the best ideas from love, the best channeling, the best gifts, the best tools, how to make my life and my dreams happen in the greatest way so I can really pursue this and make this happen. I see you doing shows. I see you doing public events. Your work is amazing. All right. So, but this is, again, this is up to you, and this is just some of those ways. I could see you going around the country, speaking events, doing art shows and things like that. But again, it's going to be completely different because we don't live in that old earth world where you would do a gallery, traditional gallery thing anymore. We live in a whole new world, and this is about finding creative, innovative, cool ways to do sometimes what seems like the old shit, but morph with something else and to higher levels of God, right? And channel information where we use all of our gifts and morph them together to be our greatest dreams. I mean, and this is just like this Facebook Live that I'm doing here, right? It's about me morphing my business from love, guided by God and highest power of love, right? To bring this stuff to the people, because I got to change the world. I can't sit here and do some no stupid shit and sit on the couch and let the bullshit that's happening in the world happen. Fuck that. And people say to me all the time, well, Lynn, that's not what spirituality does. That's bullshit. Everything is spiritual. Everything is love. Everything is God. So this is about you morphing, making your dreams happen. And this is for all of us, right? You don't have the ideas. You don't have the doorways. Ask God to bring them to you. And already just you coming in here, your soul already created that. Just by you thinking that, you created me, you created us, you created opportunity right here. But now you got to step up, you know what I mean, for you. And I feel like you do have some challenges. But if you start doing what we teach, here, I'm going to chuck something to you. Ready? Chuck this lavender oil to you. Put some of this on you and smell it if you don't mind. So if you girls weren't having personal conversations and paying attention.
I'm sorry.
Did you get the lavender? Yeah, put a little bit of that if you don't have any allergies and you feel it in your heart, and breathe it in. Because I feel like that will help you balance emotionally anytime. Like if you get raging anger or raging toxic and you need to release stuff or you need to get some rest, this is going to help you get rid of or past those barriers in physical earth world as well as metaphysically. Does that make sense? And the more you work with us or come to our events and do this work, the more you're going to make your dreams happen, because you're going to learn how to talk to God, how to work with love all the fucking time and live your greatest life. And these dreams that I'm talking about, there's no way you can't manifest them, because I'm telling people what's on your path, the highest form of love, right? But it's up to you to make it happen. You know what I mean? Yeah. But you can do it. This is the greatest tools I can give anybody here. Right? From the beginning of all time. And you know that in your heart, or you would have never come here. Same thing with all you guys, right? Yeah. So keep coming. We'll get you to where you want to go in your dreams. It doesn't mean it's going to be easy. Sometimes it's going to be challenging. But you clear out the parts that are challenging. You ask God or love for the best way to be, the best feelings, the best happiness, the best joy. And we heal ourselves as well as live our dreams and our greatest happiness. So you got this. Great stuff is coming for you. Okay? Yeah. All right. And you can bring more questions in reference to that, too, into the future when you come. And you don't have to come in person. You can come however you like. All right? All right. What about you, Wendy? You got any question?
Well, actually, I have a close friend that sent a message in.
Cool. All right. Cool.
I'm not quite sure what it says. I don't know.
It's Rebecca Smith. She says, "Hey, Lynn, I heard about you from my BFF, Wendy Hall. Are you getting... Are you getting anything on me and my sister?"
What are their names?
Rebecca goes by Becky, and then Bonnie is her sister.
All right. Can you be more specific? Like, what questions? Is there anything you want to focus on in general? The reason I ask that is because a lot of times I'll tell people a lot of information, and I literally had a guy that came to me one time, and he was at a show, and he sat down and he wanted to do like a 10 or 15 minute reading, and he says to me, well, I just want to know information about me. And I said, well, look, man, I said, you're really sick. You need to do A, B, C, D, E, F, G. You need to heal this in you. This would behoove you to heal this. And I told him all these health issues, and I said, this is the most important thing. And he just said to me, I just want a reading. I want you to tell me whatever comes in. So I started telling him about what universe was telling me was most important for him. And then he yelled at me and he goes, I don't want you to talk about that. So I was like, okay, well then why don't you tell me what the fuck you want me to talk about? You know what I mean? But I'm not saying that in a mean way. But this way, people will know, right, or get the answers to the things that they want to know consciously right now. Do you see what I'm saying? Yeah. So I'm going to ask them for those questions, because it's asking you shall receive. And I can tell them a whole bunch of stuff, but it might not be what they want to hear. Does that make sense?
Yes.
Okay.
She's saying in the fact that she feels like there's some mental illness going on, kind of estranged from the family, things of that nature.
This is lavender oil. This is Young Living lavender oil, and I sent it to our associate behind you, right? For healing. This is great for calming down and helping you through these times, right? A lot of essential oils will help that. But what I'm picking up on this for her is there is that. All right, but mental illness isn't the plaguing thing that they teach you in Earthworld, right? All right, I work with people who, all throughout my life, really, especially my career here working with God, right? So all my life, we've worked with addicts, we've worked with bipolar, we work with anxiety, we work with schizophrenia, and we work with some really serious stuff, right? All different levels of all this, right? But nothing is bad, but what they teach you in Earthworld is that you have mental illness, you're sick and you're unwell, right? And that there's nothing you can do about it but take a pill and go to a doctor and a therapist, and that's not the truth. The truth of God is, it's all in here. We can change and heal all of that. So this is just a tool, this Young Living lavender oil, it's a tool that she can use right now to help her get rid of the anger, get rid of the feelings that she's having, help balance her out, right? Depression, sadness. This is one of the most fantastic ones to use that I use all the time. And being higher vibrational, it helps me when I do energy work and I get people shit on me, like wild anger, or I'm clearing stuff out of me and I get wild anger or incredible sadness. I'll put it on my wrists. I smell it, right? So these are ways to help her. But also, if doing the metaphysical work will help. It is in the family, like we talked about lineage and ancestry. However, she has all the power to change it. And these tools just right here in Earthworld that are holistic as well. She can also use some other tools if she wants to talk to me, in the future on how to address these issues. And this is for anybody and everybody. But if you don't heal what's going on in your soul, it manifests as something else, physically, mentally, in your earth world as well, because that's the nature of God. We are designed this way in our soul. So when we don't pay attention to God, it's like, we become sicker and sicker and sicker if we don't take care of ourselves, right? Until we get smacked in the head so hard that we can't not pay attention to it, right? And so, but these are tools right now, all right, to help her in the now. You could use, this is what comes in for her, and everybody who has any kind of anxiety, mental illness. The lavender oil, I prefer doTERRA, and I prefer Young Living because they're higher vibrational oils for healing that will help and assist her with these things, right? You can use it in a diffuser, you can put it on you, okay? I use mine straight up on me, but if you have skin sensitivities, you want to cut it with like an oil, so she can use that. But also it comes in that she has to watch the things that she eats, because wheat and chemicals and sugars being out of balance really affect her moods. And this is another way, and this is for so many of us, because the foods that we eat, people have no idea what's in them, and it's super toxic, So this is another way. These are other ways that she can start addressing this right here in Earthworld, because with all healing, it's a complete package of soul, meaning metaphysical, and Saturn's Earth world in the physical, right? So, because just like the same thing happens, like when people get cancer, they'll say, oh, we removed the cancer, or we did chemotherapy, or we removed the cancer in the tumor and it's gone now. And then you come back for follow-up visits and it's gone, and it's gone, and it's gone for like a while, right? Maybe it goes away for 6 years, right? But it also many times manifests somewhere else in the body or as some other sickness, right? And we see this all the time because they didn't really heal it in its completion. Same thing is true of mental illness. It doesn't mean that you don't use doctor's world and tools here in earth world, right? You can use them. You follow your heart all the time. But these are tools that she can use right now, as well as this is great for everybody to learn the truth about how to be well, man, because it's nothing like the way they teach you in earth world, right? And that's what our healing center does, all of these things. And that's what these classes are about, to teach people the truth of God so we can change the healthcare market, so we can change how we talk to each other, so we can change the bullshit they're teaching in the school systems. We can change the government. These are all ways, and it's all from love. It's all from love, right? Same thing with mental illness, addiction, all that stuff. If we heal whatever's going on in here energetically, then or clear it, heal it, change it by working with God and universe, as well as using tools here, then we balance that out, and then we won't be sick anymore. Yeah. So yes, those are the answers that are best for her. Does that make sense? And I'm glad she streamlined it so I could really help her in a better way. Thank you. All right. So who's next with that? Were there two friends she had? No? Was there another friend?
Becky is my friend, but Bonnie is who, she's kind of estranged from the family. She's pulling herself away.
Okay, so this is for both of them. A lot of times, so yeah, and that makes sense too, because when we pull away, it means that we're not ready for whatever it is that we know that we got to do. Like Sag is a famous sign. They run their horses, right? They're part horse, they're part beast. So what do animals do? They run away from shit that they got to deal with, right? Many times in an unwell space. Not all Sages are like that. The things we don't want to address a lot of times, and guess what? I'm a Sag rising too, so I know what that's like. Okay, so yeah, so that makes sense that she would do that, and it wouldn't surprise me if that's somewhere she has a lot of Sag aspects in her chart. You see, so we will be putting together all astrology, all the systems and formulas of God, of that which is God or love, to not only heal ourselves but address and manifest our greatest lives on this show every week, and answer your questions and get you the answers that are for you, for all of us, from love, so we can change not only ourselves and live our greatest lives, as well as change the world. And because the more we come together and work with love and be in our hearts, the more we're going to change everything here. Yeah, it's great shit, right? Yeah. Okay, go ahead. Let me just ask what time it is. I know I've been on for a while.
It is about 9 o'clock.
Okay, so let's do like 2 more questions. Is that cool? And everybody else, I'm sorry, I know a lot of our stuff gets long-winded, but it's great information, right, across the board. So hang on to your questions. Who knows? We may be 2 lives in the future. Who knows? But right now, we're just going to start with this one, and we let God guide us, or love guide us to everything we do. Okay, go ahead.
Ed Simon is asking what is wrong with his brother and his sister. Why won't they leave or sell the house? He said he tries talking to Spirit and God, but he cannot get an answer.
Oh, Ed Simon, I love you. I love you. What's the God's honest truth? Well, I don't want to say bad things about people, like what we would consider bad things about people in Earth World, all right? But the truth of God in Saturn's Earth World and humanity and people right now is that people are toxic. A lot of shit is coming out of people that is really tough. I've lost 7 or 8 clients who turned into pieces of shit in an instant, and that's the truth of God. And they don't like me to say it. Like people say, oh, you shouldn't say that. Hey, spade's a spade, right? If your toxic is coming out of you and you're super unwell, and and I'm not mad necessarily about losing the clients. The bottom line is this is what's happening. The truth of these people is really coming out, who they really are, right? So this is about a journey and a lesson, or when I say lesson, I hate to use that fucking word, so give me the best word, God, because a lesson like you're a little kid and we got to spank you. It's like, clear that out of us, give me the best way to say this now, please, God, because really this is about wisdom of knowing who these people really are. So when you're, and when it comes to wills and money and business and friendships and dollars and abundance and really like emotional stuff, what happens is so many times emotionally stuff, meaning that they're really tied up and wrapped into, and biggest thing is dollars. People always got to go in this toxic earth world for the dollars, right? And I'm telling you this because I've seen it over and over and over again with wills, with my own family, all right, and with other people's family, because they tell me, oh, this person is taking my money and I can't get my money, and I'm not going to get my money, right? And that's part of what I do. I help people get the money that nobody else can get them to get, but you got to be in your heart if you want the things that you want to get from love energy, right? And I'm not saying I can get you money. What I'm saying is, right? I help you get to the best solutions from love to get to your inheritance, to get the healing done in you so the doorway opens for you to get that stuff and create it and manifest it. So what's happening here is this is a lesson about letting go of those very things that like the will, the money, wanting it so badly, needing it so badly. Ask God for whatever you need from love, and ask God to let go of this, clear your blocks for this, that you're happy whether you get any money or not, or no matter what happens. Because these people are not well people, family or not. Sometimes our biggest challenges is the family we came in with. They're like fuck toxic, right? In our physical being family, like Saturn's Earth World family, right? They don't honor us. They don't respect us. They don't do the right thing. And it's all part of the grand design of the family we picked in to come in with, right? Because we don't do the right thing. Somewhere for us in our hearts, when stuff like this happens, it means that we're at a deficit with self-love for us, with money, with finances, and or with feeling good about ourselves, allowing ourselves to have nice things, to be worthy of these things. But also there's huge challenges on the planet as well, all right, with the collective. I mean, there's a whole lot of dark energy, and this darkness, right, and the changes that are happening with the stars is all the crap is oozing out of people, so they're not doing the right thing. And that's what's happening with, I think it's your brother and your sister. Is that not correct? His brother and sister. Yeah. And money triggers people, like a brother or a friend who's like, oh yeah, we're going to be fine with sharing everything. And then when the actual will comes due, they're like, yeah, man, this is my money. And this is the shit that's coming out with people, right? But remember, karma takes care of everybody. Saturn's Earth world karma is a bitch, and it's coming. It's coming, right? And those of us who are in alignment with love in the purest form, it's our time now. So remember that. So any of you who have done toxic shit, and I get that, I have too, man, in my life. I'm like, okay, God, clear, heal, and change this all the fucking time. I'm always working on me, always talking to God, always creating my best life, right? Sometimes we can't even see where we're toxic. And many times it's toxic to ourselves, right? Where I hate me, where I can't stand me, right? But it's going to come out here in some way, shape, or form where I have less than in my reality. So the bottom line is their toxic is coming out of them. They're not going to want to sell the house. They're not going to give you the house. They think they got one up on you, Ed, and they don't, because God has you, Ed. God has you, right? And so you ask God in love for whatever you want, and great things are going to come in, because they don't even vibrate close to this level. So the best thing you can do is ask love to be free of this. Ask love that if you get any money and can have your share of the inheritance from love, if this is what's best for you, that it happens. Clear your blocks that stop that from happening. Ask God that no matter what happens, you're happy, and that God brings you infinite abundance from love all the time and wherever is best for you. And let's free you from thinking it has to be just like this from them, because it doesn't. God is infinite. Right? Doesn't have to happen in the way we think. And next time we can talk about that too, money things, because God brings me money from all these different avenues, and I would think that it would just be from clients. Not a chance in hell. It's from everywhere. If my heart is in alignment with love, right, and I am open to all the possibilities that God could bring me money from, right? It's pretty cool. Who knows? I could drive down the road and find a paper bag with $20,000 in it. And I get up and get it. And thanks God for that money for me. But I'm going to be wise. I'm going to ask God, where did this come from? What's going on? And what I should do with it. And I'm going to ask God how this happened. And I'm going to get the whole story. But I'm certainly not going to share it with the world in this toxic space. Meaning I'm not going to tell the world this is going on, because everybody's going to try to grab some of that money, right? So when we get inheritances, the shit hits the fan emotionally. People don't want to share. People get in shitty money spaces in their souls. And toxic self-love is what's what this whole planet is healing right now. So this is all part of that. I know it was quite complex, but we did these prayers for you. Thank you, God, for these gifts for Ed and all of us, for now, please, from love in the purest form, in this reality, any reality, and all that is. And thank you, God, for the best lives and the best happiness, and work this out in the best way with Ed and everybody. And may he so get these gifts from this, if this is what's best, and if not, bring Ed the best abundance from love. And thank you, God, for that for us in all ways. Thank you, God, for that for us in the healthy space of love. All right, and for Ed. All right, go ahead.
Sherry Sexton Walther is asking, can you see how many lives I have lived and if I was a healer?
It's funny. The answers so many times are in the questions that we ask. When somebody says, can you see how many lives I've lived? Right? That means you lived a lot of fucking lives, right? And then you go, when you say, am I a healer? You already know the answer to that. You are a healer, you know? It's funny because people will tell you the truth about them and what they say to you and the questions that they ask, right? Like my sister used to work in a restaurant. I don't know if we told you about this in one of our YouTubes, but I'm going to tell you this now, right? She worked with this young guy who washed the dishes, right? And all the time he would say to her, I'm a grown-ass man. I'm a grown-ass man all day, all the time, right? And the truth is he ain't no grown-ass man. He's convincing himself that he is. It's like my ex. He says to me, oh, I'm easy to get along with. I'm an easy guy. We're gonna have a great relationship. I'm easy. And I should have been like, you know, really, right? I should have been like, oh my God, fuck no. Because the truth of people is in everything that they say, everything that they do, right? It shows the truth of God is always in everything. And if you can't see it, ask God that you do, right? I get for you, and again, just like last time, a few lives ago, I get 9,743,852. All right, and this is lifetimes of all these different completions. Like when we think lifetimes, we think, oh, I lived this people lifetime and I lived 1 to 50. In another one, I could have lived another people lifetime 1 to 73. In another lifetime, I could have been a tiger and lived 17 years. Or I could have been in another planet, in another dimension, in so many different ways and so many different beings. And usually that's the case. So it's not like we think here in Earthworld in this lifetime in the exact way that we would normally think in Earthworld linearly, or in Earth world systems of karma or beliefs, law of Earth world. So I hope that answers your question. Yes, you're a super powerful healer. I think you know that. All right, and if you want to open those gifts, ask God for that. So we're good for tonight? All right. Thank you, everybody, for coming. Thank you, guys, for coming. Bring your questions for next week, and much love to all of you. And I'm excited. I'm so excited. All right, many great things. I got my Rachel girl.